36 years ago, I got into this building, and I wanted two things, most important. I wanted light and space, and I wanted a view. But I went up on a roof, and I saw the view, and I said, this is amazing. And I turned to the real estate guy and said, do you have a lot like this? And he said, that's why I hate photographers. They're so stupid. The roof gives me the capacity to shoot 360 degrees. And I go up there and I pluck things. You know, like I'll go up with a long telephoto lens and I'll pluck a little thing out of the landscape. There's a whole tapestry up there. I originally was a painter. I studied graphic design, went to Yale and studied painting with Joseph Albers. And on the last day of school, when I graduated, that was the last day I painted. I'm really glad that I have a painting background, because the roots of photography do not lie with daguerreotypes. They lie with cave paintings, Etruscan vases, architecture. And if you're aware of this whole range of things, your photography is richer. Any advice that I would give on digital photography would basically be the same thing as I would tell them on regular photography. Carry the camera, try and be aware of what's in your frame. It doesn't look any better once it passes through the camera if it didn't look good in the first place. Light, gesture, and color, I think, are the main constituents of everybody's photograph. And I think the more you're consciously aware of them, the more you have the ability to make your photographs work in a formal way. People say, you know, the light in Florence is incredible. You know, it's much better. Nonsense. The light in Brooklyn is just as good. When you're in Florence, you're not worried about your job, your family, your appointments. You're there to look. It's hard to explain gesture. Light is obvious, color is obvious, but gesture is that quintessential thing that gives what you're shooting a specific characteristic. There's gesture in everything. You can't avoid gesture, it's just your choice to get the gesture that's most telling and makes the point you're trying to make. Print is the product. The print is the thing that you really can show to people, that you can financially sell, that you can leave to somebody, that you can build your reputation on, is the print. I started making dye transfer prints, and I didn't make them. I sent them out and had them done. And about 12, 15 years ago, dye transfers were phased out. And I never really liked any other printing process. I always hated type Cs. I really stopped having anything printed after dye transfers went out. And then I saw my first Epson prints, and I was blown away by them. But there was a question on the permanence. And when the printing process became more archival, it became of more interest to me. And that is ethically very important, because I have a lot of problem with people who make prints that they know are going to fade. I want to make sure my prints aren't going to fade. And then somebody showed me a digital camera, a D1X. And since then, I've only shot about 2-3 rolls of film. Now that I'm able to print on an Epson printer here, I haven't been inside of a color lab in years. I'm shooting stuff on digital, we're doing the printing here, and I'm able to literally, from start to finish, see something happen in a matter of hours rather than weeks. Almost everything that I shoot that moves me is something that a little while later wouldn't have been as interesting. A particular image was one in London. I was walking in Hyde Park, and I came on this scene. A minute later, the clouds came over. There's no photograph anymore. There's a picture of the photographer, and he's leaning the opposite way as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And that juxtaposition it was over. And it was finished, it was done. And it's never, ever, ever going to happen again. The important thing is to go out and allow yourself to be filled up with the image and not have a preconception of what kind of image you want. Because it's more fun to let the image move you. I'm interested in showing you what is out there and how terrific it is. And it's always out there.